Good morning, people of Earth. Welcome to the fucking news with me, Deek Jackson, on the 11th of November, 2020. The planet's fucked. It's your fault and it's getting worse. And today is as good as it gets. I hope you're going to have a good one. Okay. Just a couple of editorial notes, really. I must be doing something right or wrong because recently I've received a lot of attention from totally blank accounts on my YouTube channel calling me, Andy Banks, good morning, calling me a conspiracy theorist, a moron, an anti-vaxxer, a tosser, an unfunny, flaccid, attention-seeking whore. Boy, you got my number. Oh man, you've hit me on the nail on the head there, except for a couple of things. First of all, I'm not an anti-vaxxer, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist. And I'd be disappointed if you thought this was comedy. I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum. I don't give a fuck if you like what I've got to say. Don't watch it if you don't like it. Make your own video. I won't watch it. I won't leave a comment. I don't give a fuck what you say. Why would you give a fuck what I say? Good morning, everybody who's tuning in. And good morning to those new subscribers. As I say, I must be doing something right because I also had some very nice messages from people saying, wow, I've just found your channel. I'm tuning in. So thanks. Nice to see you. I also don't give a fuck if you like what I've got to say. I don't make these videos because I want people to suck my dick and like me. I make these videos so YouTube can see me dance on the red line between your band and we'll just have to let him go because he hasn't done anything wrong. So fuck you, YouTube. I'm still here and going strong. And anybody who thinks I give a fuck what you think or what you think of my videos obviously doesn't know me and hasn't watched any of my stuff. Moving on, I would like to deal with the claim that I'm an anti-vaxxer. I'm not. Vaccines have their place, or had their place, in public health during the history of, industrial civilization. Perhaps that time has passed, but what they're now calling vaccines, and specifically the coronavirus vaccine, is pish. The coronavirus is not a pandemic. I repeat, it is not a pandemic. The world's population is going up by 230,000 people a day. Worldometers. By the way, you can Google everything I fucking say. I'm not making this shit up. And I'm disappointed when people tell me, oh, and they haven't even Googled the pish they're actually telling me. Because I Google my own pish. I do. So the world's population is skyrocketing towards 8 billion as we speak. There are just simply not enough people dying for this to be a pandemic. Once upon a time, in England alone, smallpox killed 5,000 people a day. Now, there's a pandemic I could get behind. 5,000 people a day. By the way, I don't think enough people are dying on planet Earth. So don't get me wrong. I'm not against, I'm not saying we should all just keep breeding and buying washing machines. As people who've watched my stuff will know, I think people are going away, and it's probably a good thing if lots of people went away for those of us who will be left behind. So I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm anti-lying. I'm anti-fascism. I'm anti-government controlling my life, and I'm anti this lie about the coronavirus necessitating a giant vaccination program, the like of which has never been seen before, based upon my gran dying 6 months early. Really, it's pish. Also, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't have I don't theorize about the conspiracies that are going on Earth. I accept that there are conspiracies. And I don't know what they all are. Who knows? Anybody claiming they know what's going on, or that the orthodox and everyday reality as described to you by fucking CNN, Fox News, the BBC, or any other fucking, reality drug pusher. Anybody who believes that shit is a total fucking moron. Plainly, there's more mystery to human affairs than we're being presented with. So to claim that there's nothing else going on except the stuff we're being told about is the position of infantile retards. That's what it is. If you think everything you're being told is exactly how it is, you're the equivalent of a mental retard who needs the care of adults. You really are. You are so fucking stupid. I can't put into words how stupid you would be to have to believe that what you are told represents reality. Good morning, people who are tuning in. It's a bit dark today, so I can't see many of the messages, and these glasses are tuned into my paper. So, anyway, on with the news. The headline in today's paper says, Vaccine challenge revealed. This is about the challenge of distributing the vaccine. But I think it should say lying bullshit challenge, because they're going to have to lie and bullshit you to get you to accept that you need this. And so let's just go through the paper as it comes, page at a time, and we'll come to the center pages and the coronavirus just shortly. First of all, here's some fun stuff. UK vehicle charging points near 20,000. This is part of the green lie, the solar-powered Christmas and the wind-powered planet fuck that you're being sold. I refer you to that previous statement I made about believing what you're being told, you infantile retard fucks. The lie that you can have an electric car instead of a petrol car and that will be good for the planet is just that. It's a total lie. But anyway, let's go with it. Let's run with it. There are now 20,000 charging stations in the UK for electric vehicles. That's handy, because how many vehicles are there in the UK? Anyone? Anyone care to Google that pish? Well, I'll tell you, it's nearly 40 million. 40 million vehicles registered to people in the UK. 20,000 electric charging points. Woo! I can hardly wait for the new Green Deal, the new green world that we're going to live in, where I and 50,000 other people queue up for a month to charge our cars so we can go to work administrating the sale of a copper mine in Bhutan. Rolls-Royce, in other climate or the Great Reset news, in other climate-related news, Rolls-Royce has announced it will be creating 6,000 new jobs, principally in the production of 16 mini nuclear power stations in the UK. Now, some of you may be familiar with this, but in order to keep the lights on in the UK so the Queen can see who she's standing on, we're going to nuclear power our future. Not solar panels or wind power, because that shit isn't going to be enough. No, 16 nuclear power stations, little mini ones, the size of, say, a ballistic nuclear submarine, because that's what Rolls-Royce builds. They build the nuclear reactors for ballistic nuclear submarines. So now, not content with littering the world's oceans with fissile nuclear waste for the next 85,000 years, in order to maintain a nuclear deterrent, we're now going to spread this filthy radioactive shit all around the country so that you can have Pop-Tarts in the morning and watch Strictly Come Dancing on a Saturday night. You fucking cunts. In other news, all of you freedom-loving, right-on American people who were all hot for Trump and his brand of libertarianism and making America great again. Did you know, while he was banning Muslims from flying into America, he okayed $8 billion worth of arms sales to the world's craziest religious Muslim cranks. That's right, $8 billion in arms sales to Egypt, Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. Saudi Arabia is the home of Muslim craziness. It's not just like one of the crazy. Saudi Arabia's the crazy fucking Muslim country on earth. This is the place they go to come on the square. This is the place Muslims revere as the birthplace of Muhammad. Good morning, Tom. Trump is arming, or Trump has armed. Before he leaves, he may do more since he's dismissed his defense secretary. There's no telling what crazy stuff he's got planned now. But anyway, Trump was not the leading light of liberty, freedom, and good sense. Trump was just another lying, murdering scumbag. So was Obama, so was Bush, so was Clinton. Really, you can't get a razor blade between the lying, murdering scummery of these people. There really is no difference between one lying, murdering scum and the next. Trump armed the craziest Muslim retards on earth. Big time, bigly, very good, bigly. I have armed the crazy Muslims. Muslims are not allowed in America unless they have a stealth bomber and a drone with a Hellfire missile that we sold them. Yum, yum, yum. Bam, 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 bam. Okay, here is some anti-vax news. This is the kind of pish journalists write about the current resistance to the COVID lie in the UK. 58 million follow the anti-vaxxers. I mean, anti-vaxxers are pejorative in the first place, isn't it? How about if I'm just anti-government? How about if I'm just pro-freedom? How about if I just like doing what I want and I don't like doing what you want? Labeling me an anti-vaxxer is a precursor to rounding me up, demonizing me and dismissing my concerns and allowing other people, these future Nazis, to tar and feather you and pelt you with rotten fruit as they push you into the back of that army truck to take you away to the medical facility on the outskirts of town. That's a nice movie, isn't it? Anyway, many people are desperate for a vaccine, says the journalists. Are they? How would he know? Many people are desperate for a vaccine. Man, there's some neuro-linguistic programming, eh? COVID-19 has been a breeding ground for the anti-vax movement, which includes Kanye West, Novak Djokovic, and Stone Roses frontman Ian Brown, Piers Corbyn, etc. No lockdown, no tests, no tracks, no masks, no vax, tweeted Brown in September. Okay? A recent study by the London-based Centre for Countering Digital Hate. How is it digital hate to not want a vaccine? How is that digital hate? At this point, I would just like to show you all my Rude Health t-shirt, right? This is why I made and I wear a Rude Health t-shirt. Because we are the new fucking Jews. People who don't want to do what the government says, people who don't want anything to do with their forced medical procedures, new Jew. You are the new Jew. You will be labelled, identified, and ultimately rounded up and forced to submit to medical procedures you don't want. I'm not making this shit up, right? I'm going to come to that. There's more. This journalist goes on with his lying bullshit. Nobody's calling him a conspiracy theorist. The anti-vax movement started with Andrew Wakefield, the author of a 1998 study purporting to show a link between the MMR, mumps, measles and rubella, and autism. That's a lie. It's rubbish. The anti-vax movement started as soon as vaccination started. It can be traced back in the UK to 1850 and was actually supported by aristocracy, members of the royal family, the middle class and the working class. Vaccinations caused gangrene, blood-borne diseases and other extreme reactions leading to death in many cases. However, it also did prevent smallpox spreading and prevented the 5,000 deaths a day in England. So, easy come, easy go, too many people anyway, you died, bad luck, oh ho, I'm crying. Not. But it's just not a fact that the anti-vax movement started in 1998, so it's pish journalism. All right, so then we'll go on. His piece, the guy with the autism paper, the scientist who produced the paper, was then subsequently forced to retract it, right? And it says here in a piece of quasi-accurate journalism, he was forced to retract it because of a conflict of interests, because it turns out he'd received some funding from people suing for a vaccine procedure that went wrong. So let's just be clear about that then. His scientific paper on the link between autism and the MMR vaccine was not withdrawn because it was inaccurate scientifically or that it was not correct. And while we're talking about medicine that goes wrong, now might be a good time to give you some other stuff to Google. The third leading cause of death in America is medical malpractice, medical negligence, medical mistakes, medical things that just went wrong because medicine is practiced by inept people, people with a profit motive, people who don't really care about you, people who've got their eye on the bottom line and would rather you swallow that pill and they get the money than you live. And the figures are as follows. John Hopkins, a university we've all come to rely upon for our figures on the corona. Oh, it's from John Hopkins. Well, it must be true then. Well, in that case, John Hopkins may have it right. 250,000 people every year. That's currently more than have died from the coronavirus. 250,000 people a year just in America dying from medical malpractice. And you want me to have the army inject me with some shit Pfizer cooked up? Are you fucking mad? The fuck? If you don't believe John Hopkins, there's actually another study that puts the figure as high as 440,000. That's 440,000 dead people from medical people fucking them up. And you want me to let the army medically do stuff? The army aren't even trained to fuck up medically. You know, at least if you've got a nurse or a doctor fucking up your medical treatment, you're in with a percentage chance of them not fucking it up. Who wants somebody wearing desert camouflage and a polythene pinny injecting you with something they made last week? Are you people nuts? Okay, and so speaking of that, all right, here we have a piece about, in Liverpool, the army have gone into Liverpool, thousands of them, and they're conducting mass testing on the people of Liverpool. And there's a couple of things about that that I should like to talk about. First of all, the people of Liverpool are not happy. But you won't read that. You won't read about the people of Liverpool's reaction to the army being in their city doing mass testing on them, because the newspaper is just full of pictures like this, where a nice little old man like your granddad is there receiving his negligent medical treatment or procedure from someone in the army. He's a hero. He's a vulnerable old man. It's a wonderful, heartwarming story of the state caring for you. Is it fuck? The army conducting medical procedures on people is not heartwarming. It's scary. It's sinister. It's dangerous. It's wrong. And I will be resisting any attempt for it to be done to me. And so will the people of Liverpool, and so they have. So this happened in Liverpool. A newspaper announced on behalf of a school, such and such a primary school is honoured to announce that we've been chosen as the first school to participate in the Army's testing regime of Liverpool. Good morning, Nathan. And they also announced in the newspaper that day, because of the exceptional circumstances, we are going to assume the consent of the parents of the children. We're going to assume, let's just go over that again. The school says, we're going to assume the consent needed to do this medical procedure to your children with the army. Okay? And that caused such a backlash, they had to withdraw that immediately. You can Google all this pish. Honestly, if you think I'm a conspiracy theorist, just Google it and shut the fuck up. They withdrew their claim for assumed consent, and parents, so disgusted and outraged at this, went round to the school and began shouting at the school, out of their cars, not to have the test, at children who were going into school. Don't have the test, don't have the test. And that video was played on news media outlets with headlines such as, anti-vaxxers harass teachers and upload child videos to the internet, further demonizing anyone resisting or opposing the army conducting medical procedures on children without the consent of their parents. Let's go over that again because it may seem scary at first. The army wanted to conduct a medical procedure on people's children without their consent, okay? In Britain. Yeah. You want that? You like that? Furthermore, this test in Liverpool will be conducted on people not just living there, but working there, which means if you're travelling into Liverpool, you may encounter a roadblock manned by desert camouflage, armed squaddies who received 10 minutes training in shoving shit up your nose to find out if you should be locked down. One of the purposes of this testing is not to test the test, it's to test the database that you go onto. You go onto a database, oh, he tested positive, there's another one to round up. Tested positive, round him up. In the truck, off to that medical facility on the outside of town. Okay, moving on to Trump, who hasn't left office yet. He's there to January the 20th. And this headline says, without a hint of irony, I can't even see the smile or the smirk between the lines of this headline. Are you ready? Trump could wreak global havoc in his last days. Like there isn't global havoc already. Look around the world, people. Do you see a calm mill pond of happy, contented, the people pursuing happiness in a benign and unforced and non-malevolent way? Because I see fucked up shit everywhere. Here we are. I'm talking to you on a phone that was made in a nation which mass rapes Uyghur women to artificially inseminate them to destroy the Muslim population of their nation. And Britain currently wants a trade deal. We want a trade deal with that country. That country that so surveils its own people. They have a file on every single citizen, and they can stop you buying a train ticket if your social credit score drops below 400. And we want a trade deal with them. We want good relationships with them. Trump just sold bombers and machine guns and artillery and other shit to the craziest religious despots on earth, so that they can conduct a war on unarmed men, women, and children living in caves in the desert. And assist General Sisi with his totalitarian regime in Egypt. Yeah, Trump could wreak havoc in his last days. Oh no, don't let him do that. Everything was going so well. Oh my goodness, I wouldn't want havoc to be wreaked anywhere. Vaccine hopes, a glowing moment of hope. A glowing moment of hope, says the Times. What are you writing, love poetry? What are you trying to get off with this woman? A glowing moment of hope, my dear. It was a glowing moment of hope. The vaccine loomed between us. Oh. The success of the Pfizer trials provides the first evidence the coronavirus is beatable. Beatable? What do we have to beat? It only kills the average death. Here's another figure for you to fucking Google. The average age of someone who dies from coronavirus is more than the life expectancy of a person in the Western world. So, what the fuck are we worried about? Oh no, if you get coronavirus, you're going to live 2.5 years longer. Oh no, we should have a giant war against that. So, do you know what I hope? I hope the government stop being fascist, totalitarian, communist, lying fucks and leave me alone. I'm not hoping for a vaccine. I'm hoping that people collectively, maybe we should have a people's strike. I don't know what good it would do, but it would be fun, wouldn't it? Maybe we could all just stop doing stuff. You know, since they locked us up, do you know what you could do that would help? Turn off your television, stop watching advertising, and stop buying shit. Although, you know, considering that they've shut the shops, that may not actually be fucking worthwhile. Maybe you could just stop wearing a mask collectively, all of you everywhere. If you could all get New Jew t-shirts and sew a yellow star on your arm so that everybody knows what's happening. Wait. Something else I missed there. I tell you what, I missed that. So let's go back. Yesterday I did a piece about Pfizer's vaccine and how they took no public money, not a penny, from anyone. And I surmised that they did this, right? I was conjecturing. I was using my imagination. I was just dreaming up reasons why maybe they didn't want to take any public money. And I said it was because so there would be no oversight. They would never have to tell any accountable body, any institution of government, anything about how they did it, what they'd done, and what was in it. So the Pfizer boss, headline, Pfizer boss wants to keep Pfizer out of politics. The reason that I didn't take any money from any government was because I wanted to liberate our scientists from bureaucracy. When you get money from someone, that always comes with strings. Like wanting to know what's in the goo. That's explicitly telling you exactly what I thought yesterday. They don't want any strings. They don't want any bureaucracy. They want to see how we are going to progress. What type of moves? What type of moves? Is that a scientific term? I mean, is that a biopharmaceutical molecular biology term? Moves. Hey, dude, Pfizer, like your moves. What kind of moves have you got in that virus there, eh? They want to know what type of moves you are going to do. Maybe they've got moves like Jagger in Pfizer. He said, they want reports, in inverted commas. Reports. Oh dear, they want reports on what's in the goo you're going to inject into millions and billions of people. Oh, we can't have that. I didn't want to have any of that, says the Pfizer boss. So there we have it. The Pfizer boss doesn't want to give any reports, doesn't want any strings, doesn't want his moves, yeah baby, doesn't want his moves to have to be reported as the vaccine that we're all apparently celebrating getting and the army is preparing to shoot into your children without consent is an untested, or rather, it's an unaudited, it's an unexplored, unknown quantity, which Pfizer, a private company, doesn't have to tell any bureaucracy anything about because they don't want to, they don't want that sort of thing, and they didn't take any money to get it. So, well, I think that about does it for today's news. And if you're a blank, unknown YouTube account with no picture, no content, no videos, and you were created yesterday and you're planning to leave me a comment to the effect, you're some moron conspiracy theorists, don't waste your time. Honestly, I just remove you immediately. Honestly, I click really quick, oh, there's a blank account, you're gone. I don't give a fuck, I really don't. I make these videos to annoy YouTube and please myself. So, you know, if you've got an opinion about the world that disagrees with me, make a video. I won't watch it, won't comment it, don't give a fuck. Meanwhile, I'm off to have some fun. I hope you are too, because do you know what? This is as good as it's gonna get. So enjoy it while you can, because it would appear to me from divining the entrails of today's chicken that the army are planning to conduct medical procedures on you and or your children without your consent sometime in the near future. Resistance is fertile. Death to extremists. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day. See you then.